The x-intercepts of the graph of the function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c are the solutions of the related equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We have two solutions when we have two x-intercepts. We have one solution if we only have one x-intercept, and we have no solution or no real solution when there is no x-intercept. This happens when the x values are imaginary numbers. In solving for the solutions of quadratic equations, we have four algebraic methods, which are extracting the square roots, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. And since you already know when to use and how to use each method, we can now apply them in solving some real-life problems, which are as follows. We have number problems, age problems, motion problems, and business problems. And for this lesson, we have only one learning target. I can solve problems involving quadratic equations. Okay. Now let's be reminded of the steps in solving a problem. We have the following steps. Step 1, read and understand the problem. Step 2, identify the unknown. Step 3, translate into an equation. Step 4, solve the equation. Step 5, check if the solved value of x will make the equation true. And step 6, answer the question. Let us start with number problems. In solving number problems, please be mindful of the following questions and the answer to each. Say, what are the consecutive positive integers? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice that the difference from one number to another is 1. How about what are the consecutive negative integers? So we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on. Okay. Notice that the difference between one number to another is also 1. Okay? So, if we let here our first number is n, then to determine 2, we have n plus 1. So, we have 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And for the third consecutive positive integer, we'll have n plus 1 plus 1. So, we have here n plus 2. Same process will be done in this problem or say question. How about what are the consecutive even integers? The consecutive even integers are both negative and positive even integers. So we have negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, 2, 4, 6. Now remember that in the set of integers, 0 is not included. Okay, so what can you notice with the difference between one number to another? The difference is 2. Negative 6 and negative 4 has a difference of 2. 2 and 4, you have 2. 4 and 6, you have a difference of 2. Okay, so if we let our first number as negative 6, for us to determine negative 4, we add 2 here. So we have n plus 2. We have negative 6 plus 2 is equal to negative 4. And if we want the third even integer, we have n plus 2 plus 2. So we have n plus 4. So we have n negative 6 plus 4. So we have negative 2. Okay? How about for the consecutive odd integers? Okay, the consecutive odd integers include both the positive and negative odd integers. Say we have here negative 3, negative 1, 1, 3, 5, and so on from both left and right. So notice that the difference between one number to another is same as that with the even integers. The difference is 2. So if we let our first number, consecutive odd number is n, then to determine 3, we simply add 2. And to determine 5, we simply add 2 again to 3. So we have 5. So referring it to n, so we have n plus 2 plus 2. So we have n plus 4. Okay, so we have same representation with the consecutive even integers and consecutive odd integers. Let's have now some examples using quadratic equation. First step is we are going to read and understand the problem. Find two consecutive positive integers whose product is 72. Then step 2, we are going to identify the unknown. The unknown is the consecutive positive integers. Okay? We have third is we are going to name the unknown. So we assign a variable to represent the unknown numbers. So we let here x the first number, the first positive integer rather. Then we have x plus 1 is equal to the ulit. So let's have the first example. Find two consecutive positive integers whose product is 72. Then we are going to identify the unknown. The unknown is the two consecutive positive integers. Okay. So next is we are going to define the variables. So we have here, we let x is the first positive integer, and we let x plus 1 the second integer. Now, why do we have here x plus 1? We have here consecutive. As discussed a while ago, the difference between consecutive integers is 1. So we have here, to determine the second number or the following number, we have to add 1. Then, we are going to translate into an equation. We have the product, first number times the second number is equal to 72. So what is our first positive integer? So we have x, and the second integer is x plus 1. Then we have here 72. Ulit. Let's have the first example. Find two consecutive positive integers whose product is 72. Okay? So, after that, we are going to identify the unknown, which is the consecutive positive integers. So, mean to say, the difference between the first number to the second number is 1. So, let us now define the variables. We have we let x, the first positive integer, then we let x plus 1 is equal to the second positive integer. Then after that, we are going to translate this into an equation. So we have the product is 72. Find two consecutive positive integers whose product is 70. Meaning to say, we have the first integer times the second integer equals 72. Our first integer is x, and our second integer is x plus 1 equals 72. And then, we apply the distributive property of multiplication. So we have x times x is equal to x squared. X times positive 1 is equal to positive x. It transposes 1, so we have negative 72. So what's left on the right side is 0. Then, obviously, this quadratic equation can be solved using factoring. So we have x, the factors of x squared are x and x. And what are the factors of negative 72 when added? When added, the sum is equal to 1. So we have 8. Negative 8 and positive 9. So we have negative 72 and negative 8 plus 9 is equal to positive 1. So we have here negative 8 and then we have positive 9. Then we apply the zero product property. We have x minus 8 equals 0. We have x plus 9 equals 0. So we have x is equal to 8 or x is equal to negative 9. Now, going back to the unknown, you're asked to find the consecutive positive integers. So mean to say, we cannot make use of x equals negative 9. So we're going to discard this one. Hindi siya pwedeng magamit kasi ang hinahanap ay positive integers lamang. So we are going to make use of x equals 8. So the first integer is 8. So the second integer is x plus 1. That is 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. Now, let us answer the problem. The two consecutive integers are 8 and 9. Okay? So, we are going to check 8 times 9 is equal to 72. That's how easy it is. Let's have another example. Find two consecutive negative even integers whose product is 168. So, the unknown is two consecutive negative even integers whose product is 178. So, we let x is the first negative integer, and we let x plus 2 is the second negative integer. Okay, why x plus 2? Because as what we have mentioned earlier, the difference between consecutive even integers is 2. That's why we have x plus 2 to determine the second integer. Then, we translate into an equation this mathematical statement. So, we have here first negative even integer times the second, kasi nga product, diba? Kaya siya naging times kasi nga product. So, we have the second negative integer is equal to 168. So, our first negative even integer is x. And then our second negative integer is x plus 2 equals 168. Okay? So, we have now applied the distributive property of multiplication. So, we have x times x is equal to x squared. We have x times 2 is equal to 2x. Transpose this. So, we have negative 168 equals 0. And then, we are going to look for factors of x squared and negative 168 because obviously this quadratic equation can be solved by factoring method. So the factors of x squared are x and x. Then we look for the factors of negative 168. So 8 is the last digit, so mean to say the factors could be 2 and 4. The last digits might be 2 and 4. Say we only have 100, so mean to say we have the tens place only. We have 1 here. So 12 times 14 is equal to 168. But the sum here must be positive 2. So mean to say our negative here is negative 12. Okay. So we have negative 168. Okay. Adding negative 12 and positive 14, we have positive 2 as the sum. Okay. Placing the factors here, we have negative 12, positive 14. So applying a zero product property equals 0. You have x plus 14 equals 0. So you have x is equal to 12. X is equal to negative 14. So, ano bang hinahanap sa problem? Consecutive negative even integers daw. So, ibig sabihin, we cannot make use of this. So, we are going to discard this. Kasi pag itong gamitin natin, ang lalabas ay positive even integer. Okay? Ang hinahanap natin dito ngayon ay negative. So, ibig sabihin, gagamitin natin si x equals negative 4. So, our x is equal to negative 14 rather, not 4. And we have x plus 2 is equal to negative 14 plus 2, which is equal to negative 12. Okay? So, negative 14 times negative 12 is equal to positive 168. So, therefore, the two consecutive negative even integers whose product is 168 are negative 14 and negative 12. For the last number problem, we have The product of two consecutive numbers is 19 more than the sum of these numbers. Find the numbers. Okay. So we have here two consecutive numbers, mean to say the difference between the first and second number is 1. But of course, we have here added description of the numbers. So we have the product of two consecutive numbers is the product of two consecutive numbers. So let us first define the variables before translating this into a mathematical equation. So we let here x, the first number. Then we have x plus 1, the second number. Ay nako, ulit. Okay. For the last number problem, we have the product. For the last number problem, we have the product of two consecutive numbers is 19 more than the sum of these numbers. Find the numbers. Okay, so we have to define first the variables. We have a let x, the first number, and since consecutive yung mga numbers na ito, the difference between the first number to the second number is 1. So we have x plus 1 is the second number. Okay? So from here, we are going to write the equation. The product of two consecutive numbers. So we have x times x plus 1. This is okay, ito yung ngayon. Okay. Ayan. Is equals 19 more than. Ibig sabihin, 19 more than. So, ibig sabihin, magdagdag ng 19. 19 more than the sum of these numbers. The sum of these numbers, pag sinabing sum, i-add natin sila. So, we have x plus 1. Okay. This is our sum. This is 19 more than the sum of these numbers. Okay. Find the numbers. Okay, let's find the numbers now. We are going to apply the distributive property of multiplication. So we have x times x is equal to x squared. X times positive 1 is equal to x. Okay. We're going to add the numbers. X plus x is 2x. We have plus 1 plus 19. So we have here x squared plus x. Transpose this. So we have negative 2x. Then we have 1 plus 19 is equal to 20. When we transpose 20 to the left side, it becomes negative 20 equals 0. Then we have now x squared. X minus 2x is equal to negative x. Then we have minus 20 is equal to 0. Okay. So next is we are going to determine the solutions. Okay. So how can we apply here factoring? Can we think of the factors of negative 20 in which the sum is equal to negative 1? Okay. Negative 20. Factors are 5 and 4. So we have here the sum is equal to negative 1. So we can just let 5 as negative. So this can be solved by factoring. So the factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of negative 20 are as follows. Negative 5 and positive 4. Applying the zero product property, then we have now x is equal to 5 and we have here x is equal to negative 4. Okay. Now, we have here the consecutive numbers. So, hindi sinabi kung positive ba siya or negative. So, ibig sabihin, if our x, okay, can I just erase this one first? If our x here, so if we have two possible solutions here, so if we have x here is equal to 5 and x is equal to negative 4, so we have here or. So the second number would be x plus 1, and that is 5 plus 1, so it is equal to 6. We have here x plus 1 is equal to negative 4. Negative 4 plus 1, so we have here negative 3. Okay. So the first pair of solutions we have, okay, we have 5 and 6 or negative 4 and negative 3. Okay, let us check. So we have here let us check here. We have 5 times 6 is equal to the sum of 5 and 6. 5 plus 6 plus 19. Okay, so 5 times 6 is equal to 30. We have 11 plus 19. 30 is equal to 30. Mean to say, this is indeed correct. How about the second one? We have negative 4 times negative 3 is equal to the sum negative 4 plus negative 3 plus 19. So we have here positive 12. Okay. We have negative 4 plus negative 3 is negative 7 plus 19. 12 is equal to negative 7 plus 19 is equal to 12. Correct. So we have here two possible solutions. We have the first one and this is the second one. Okay, so we have x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 6, or x equals negative 4 and x is equal to negative 3. Okay, so very easy. So the numbers are 5 and 6 or negative 4 and negative 3. Okay, for the age problem, we have here Sarah is 2 years older than her brother Ryan. If the product of their ages is 15, how old are they? Okay, so actually it is similar to number problem, and then we can just represent, we let S Sarah for Sarah's age, and then we let R for Ryan's age. Okay, in which we have Sarah is, pag sinabing pag meron nga tayong students, that is equivalent to the symbol equality. Sarah is 2 years older, ibig sabihin 2 years older siya than her brother Ryan. Okay, so S is equal to R plus 2, then we have R. Okay, so ito yung mga variables na gagamitin natin. Ayan. So, if the product of their ages, okay, in this statement here, product of their ages is 15. So, product of S and R, S times R is equal to 15. Okay. Ito ibig sabihin yan. Then we substitute. Ano ba ang age ni Sarah? Sarah is 2 years older than Ryan. So, we substitute. We have here S is R plus 2 times R is equal to 15. Okay, notice, iisa na lang ang variable natin. So, ibig sabihin, pwede natin ma-solve ang problem. We have R times R is equal to R squared. 2 times R is equal to 2R is equal to 15. Okay. Then, we transpose this one. So, we have R squared plus 2R minus 15 equals 0. And obviously, this can be solved by factoring method. So, we have the factors of R squared are R and R. Then, the factors of negative 15, when added, the sum is 2R. Positive 5 and negative 3. And then, we apply the zero product property. We have R plus 5 is equal to 0. We have R minus 3 equals 0. So, we have here R is equal to negative 5 or R is equal to positive 3. Okay. Now, since age cannot be negative, okay, we are going to discard this. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin kasi nga ang age ay hindi pwedeng mag-negative. So, among the two solutions, ito lang pwede nating magamit. Okay? So, we have Ryan's age is equal to 3. So, therefore, ang age ni Sarah ay Ryan, which is 3, plus 2. The age of Sarah is 5 years old. Okay? So, therefore, Ryan is 3 years old while Sarah is 5 years old. Okay? We can always check. Sarah is 5 and Ryan is 3. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. Okay, indeed, our solution is correct. For the measurement problem, we have Janica wants to double the area of her garden by increasing the length and width by the same amount. If the original length and width are 9 meters and 6 meters respectively, what will be the dimensions of her new garden? So first thing that we are going to do is visualize the problem. Okay? So Janica has a garden. Okay? She has a garden that looks like this with dimensions 9 meters and 6 meters respectively. So mean to say the area here is the area which is length times width is 9 meters times 6 meters, which is equal to 54 square meters. Okay. Now Janica wants to double the area, mean to say the new area would be new area is 2 times this. So we have 2 times 54 square meters, which is equal to 108 square meters. Okay. By increasing the length and width by the same amount, say x, because we don't know yet what will be the added length. Okay. So, what will be the dimensions of her new garden? So, the dimensions would be, from this, we have 9 plus x for the length, and then we have 6 plus x for the width. Now, we have to find out what these values of x is. So, we have now, we let x the amount of increase in both length and width. We have to, the area of the new garden, okay, is 2 times the area of the original garden, which is equal to 108 square meters. Okay, we'll just not write the units here to avoid confusion. Then what is the area of the new garden? That is length times width, right? The area of a rectangle is length times width. So we have here 108 is equal to the length is, our length is 9 plus x, and our width is 6 plus x. And then we apply the distributive property of multiplication. So we have here 108 here. We have 9 times 6 is equal to 54. 9 times x is equal to 9x. X times 6 is equal to positive 6x. And x times x is equal to x squared. And then, we transpose this to the right side. So, what's left on the left side is 0. 0 is equal to x squared plus, okay, combine this, we have 15x. Then we have plus 54. Okay, transposing 108 on the right side becomes negative 108. So, what we have now is 0 is equal to x squared plus 15x minus 54. Okay, so can we solve this one by factoring? I guess so. Okay, so we have here the factors of x squared are x and x. And then we look for the factors of negative 54. Okay, so can we just have 18 and 3? 24. Okay, 54. But since the sum here is positive, so our negative here is 3. So we have x plus 18. And we have x minus 3. Then we apply the zero product property. X plus 18 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. So we have x equals negative 18. And then we have here x is equal to 3. Now, since we are talking here of length, length can never be negative. So, x equals negative 18 will not be used. So, we'll discard it. So, what we are going to use as the solution is x equals 3. Okay? So, if x is equal to 3, then the new dimensions would be 6 plus 3 is equal to 9 meters for the width. Then we have here 9 plus 3. Then we have 12 meters for the length. Okay? And 12 times 9 is equal to 108. So, therefore, the dimensions of the new garden are 12 meters by 9 meters. Okay? 12 meters by 9 meters. This is now the answer to this question. Okay? So, that's it. Next is the projectile motion. When an object is dropped, thrown, or launched either straight up or down, you can use the vertical motion formula to find the height of an object. This formula is h is equal to negative 16t squared plus vt plus s, where h represents the height, t represents the time in seconds, v represents the initial velocity in feet per second, and s represents the initial height in feet. Let's have here an example. A baseball was hit at an initial height of 4 feet and traveled an initial velocity of 70 feet per second. How long will it take for the ball to reach the ground? At what time will it reach a height of 10 feet? So we will be using two equations to solve the two problems, obviously. So for the first problem, we have, okay, we're going to refer to our general equation, h equals negative 16t squared plus vt plus s. But in the first equation, you're asked of the time the ball will reach the ground. When the ball reaches the ground, the height is equal to 0. So, height is replaced with 0 here. We have negative 16t squared plus our initial velocity is 70 feet per second. So, we have 70, just copy t. And for the initial height, which is equal to 4 feet. Okay. How about the second problem? At what time will it reach a height of 10 feet? Okay. So, we have here, h will be replaced here with 10. Okay. We have negative 16t squared plus 70t plus 4. Okay. Notice that we have the same entries for the right side. Okay. Except for the left side. Okay. So, if you're going to visualize the problem, okay, it looks like this, okay. So, this is where the baseball initial height is 4 feet. Once it's released, it looks like this, okay. This is the time where the ball reaches the ground, okay. Height here is 0, okay. But at what time? That is questionable. How about if we are looking for the time when the ball reaches a height of 10 feet. So, looking at this, we have two answers. Okay? The earlier and the later time. Okay, so we have two values of x here or time here for the second problem. Okay, so let's answer the first problem. How long will it take for the ball to reach the ground? So, solving this, obviously, this cannot be solved by factoring. So, we're going to make use of the quadratic formula. So, in using quadratic formula, we are going to identify first the values of a, b, and c. Here, our a is equal to negative 16. Our b is equal to 70. And our c is equal to 4. And then, we are going to substitute these values in the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So, we have the negative of b, which is equal to 70, plus minus our b, again, is 70, square it, okay, minus 4 times our a is negative 16, and our c is equal to 4. Dividing both all dividing it by 2 times a, we have negative 16. So we have negative 70 plus minus the square root of 4,900. Negative times negative is positive. Then we have 4 times 16 times 4 is equal to 256. Okay? Over 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. Using a calculator to determine the values, okay, if you have a natural display calculator, it would be quite easy for you to determine the values of x. So, we have here, x here, which is our t, okay, is equal to, okay, we have negative 70 plus minus 71.80 over negative 32. So we have t sub 1 is equal to negative 70 plus 71.80 over negative 32. We have 71 never negative 0.06. Let me check it first with my calculator. Okay. You have negative 0.06. Now, time cannot be negative. So, this is not our solution. Okay. This will not be used as a solution in solving the problem. So, let's make use of the other one. Okay. You have x sub 2 is equal to negative 70 minus 71.80 over negative 32. And the result is 4.43. Okay. At approximately 4.43 seconds, okay, at approximately 4.43 seconds, the ball reaches the ground. Okay? Ayan na, sagutan na natin yung isa. Ngayon, ang tanong naman, at what time will the ball reaches a height of 10 feet? So, dalawa ang pwedeng maging sagot dito. Yung first at saka yung pangalawa. So, we are going to make use of the quadratic equation in solving this again. So, we are going to transpose this to the right side. So, what's left here is 0 is equal to negative 16t squared plus 70t plus 4 minus 10. So, we have 0 is equal to negative 16t squared plus 70t minus 6. The next thing that we are going to do is we will identify the values of A, B, and C. So, our A here is equal to negative 16, our B is equal to 17, and our C is equal to negative 6. And then we are going to substitute these values in the formula, quadratic formula. So, I'll not write it again because obviously we don't have enough space here. So, we have the negative of B, that is 70, plus minus the square root of 70 squared minus 4 times A, negative 16 times negative 6, our C. Dividing it by 2 times A, negative 32. Okay? Simplifying this, we have x is equal to negative 70 plus minus the square root of 4,900 minus 384 over negative 64. This is 2 times A, negative 16. So, we have negative 32. Correction for that. Okay. Then, we have now negative 70 plus minus the exact value for this is 67.20 over negative 32. Okay. Then, we have now x sub 1 is equal to negative 70 plus 67.20 over negative 32, which is equal to 0.09 or approximately 1 second. Then we have here for the second x value, we have negative 70 minus 67.20 over negative 32, we have 4.29 seconds. So this only shows that, okay, the ball reaches the height of 10 seconds at during or after 1 second, then again at 4.29 seconds. Okay? So, this is how we are going to analyze it. Okay? Inabot niya na ang height ng 10 feet nung after 1 second and then nag 10 feet ulit after ng 4.29 seconds. Okay? For the business problem we have here, Elmer is organizing a fundraising basketball tournament in their barangay. He plans to charge 100 pesos entry fee for each of the 80 players. He recently decided to raise the entry fee by 20 pesos and 5 fewer players entered with the increase. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin yan, na nag-decide siya na mag-increase ng 20 pesos, kada increase ng 20 pesos, 5 ang hindi magpapa-register or hindi mag-join. So, how much would he charge to ensure that the organization will not lose money? Okay. Let us visualize first the situation. So, yung about sa fund. Yung fund, F, okay, ay ma-determine by getting the product of the entry fee times the number of entrants. Okay. So, yung entry fee ay 100 at ang number of expected entrants ay 80. Ngayon, kung gagamitan natin siya ng linear equation or linear function, ang magiging fund ni Elmer ay 8,000. Pero gusto ni Elmer na tataasin kanyang fund. So, gagamitan niya ng quadratic equation by increasing the entry fee from 20 pesos. Okay? Notice niya, kada mag-increase siya ng 20 pesos, 5 ang hindi magpapa-register. Ang tanong, ilang beses siyang, the number of times, ilang beses siyang magpapa-increase ng 20 to ensure that hindi siya maglo-lose ng money. Okay? So, we'll make it 0. At least 0 lang, 0. Okay? So, yung x dito ngayon ay magre-represent ng number of times Elmer will increase the charge or increase the fee by 20 pesos, and at the same time the number of times, the number of entrants will be decreased by 5. Okay. Now, since 0 na ito, napakadali lang. So, ibig sabihin, i-equate natin ang bawat factor to 0. 100 plus 20x is equal to 0. So, we have here also 80 minus 5x equals 0. So, we have 20x. So, we have here 20x. Transpose this, we have negative 100. Dividing both sides by 20, okay, our x is equal to negative 5. Now, this mathematical solution cannot be the solution for this problem. So, we're going to discard this. Okay. Hindi natin siyang pwedeng gamitin. How about this one? Okay, transpose this. So, we have negative 5x equals negative 80. So, dividing both sides by negative 5, we have x is equal to 16. Okay. Ibig sabihin nito, 16 times pwedeng mag-increase si Elmer ng 20 pesos. Pag mag-increase siya ng 20 pesos 16 times, wala nang magpapa-register. Okay. Tingnan nga natin. Okay. Dito tayo. Dito tayo sa entry fee. Entry fee. Okay. Kung i-increase ni Elmer ng 20 times, okay, at 16 times rather, okay, ang entry fee ay magiging 100 plus 20 times 16, 320. Oh, grabe, 320. So, we have 420 yung magiging fee kada player. Okay. So, kung mag-charge siya ng 420, tingnan natin yung number of entrants naman. Number of entrants. Okay. Ito naman yun. Okay. Ito yun. So, we have 80 minus 5 times 16. Okay. So, we have now 80 minus 5 times 16 is 80. 0. So, nakita nyo naman na 0, wala nang magpaparegister kung ang i-charge ni Elmer ay 420. Okay. At least yan, wala talaga siyang malulus na money. Pero kapag ang i-charge niya ay 400, okay, kung mag-charge siya ng 400, meron pang magjo-join or magpaparegister. Pero kung 420, wala na. Okay? So, this is how we are going to this is how we solve business problems. And we'll have more of this kind of problem in quadratic function. Okay?